Well, howdy, church. We are continuing with our I Am devotions. Just a 5-minute look at Jesus' statements. There's 7 of them in the book of John, and there's also the great I Am section in John 8 that we can include as the 8th great I Am. In our last devotion, we talked about Jesus is the bread of life. Today we're going to be talking about Jesus saying, I am the light of the world. Now this phrase, I am, if we were to break it down, we certainly would lose what it really means as a Gentile. We would know the significance of it, but certainly as a Jewish hearer or writer or reader, they would know what I am is. They would hearken that thought back to the burning bush and Moses and God sitting there, and he says, who's going to be my deliverer, Moses says. And God says, just tell him I am sent you. So when Jesus says this phrase, I am, Jewish people know, aha, he's referring to God. In John chapter 8, it says that he is with the people, Jesus is, and it says it includes the Pharisees and others. And as they are there, Jesus says, I am the light of the world. The Pharisees challenge him on this, and they say, hey, Jesus, to have this be true, you need to have it established by another witness. And Jesus is like, gentlemen, I don't need another witness. I have God as my witness, the Father. So he kind of dispels that. Secondly, you may recall John, in his gospel that we're looking at, in the first chapter, begins the gospel by Jesus being the Word. And if you recall that, he mentions these words, John chapter 1, and we're going to read a few verses. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Jesus was God. He was with God in the beginning. Through him all things were made. Without him nothing was made that has been made. In him was life, and here we go, and that life was the light of men, just what we're talking about. The light shines in the darkness, but the darkness has not understood it. This is interesting. This is the whole thing that John is establishing who Jesus was, and that he was the light of men. Well, if the Pharisees are still around and John's book comes out, they're like, John can testify too that Jesus, as his witness, that Jesus is the light of the world. That's interesting to me. So this certainly made the Pharisees ticked off, and they would seethe because they knew about this whole thought of I am. And not only that, but now Jesus was saying, I am the light of the world. Jesus would further say in John 8 that whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Wow, if we were to look at John's first letter, 1 John chapter 1, he would say this, if we walk in the light as he is in the light, we have fellowship with one another. And conversely, if we walk in the darkness, we don't even live by this truth. In fact, we lie. Friends, are you living in the darkness, or are you living in the light? There's so much darkness and oppression and evil in our world today. Do you not feel that? It's ugly. It's almost like you want to take a shower every day by the news and the stuff we hear. Up is down and black is white, and everything seems so oppressive. And I think that it's something to say that this is not our world. All we are supposed to do is shine the light in this dark place and in this dark time. The beauty is we can be reminded that when we get to glory, there's no need for a flashlight or looking at our phone and clicking that flashlight button or plugging in a lamp to have light in the darkness so we don't stumble around because of the evil that there is. But God will be all the light we need. This is the same thing Jesus is saying. Amazing. For us, our takeaway is that Jesus is the great I am and will continue to prove that in the coming days. He is the Word. Not only is he the Word of God, but he was there in the beginning as God. Amazing. Secondly, he is the light of the world. He wants to bring light to everyone who believes in him. And you could become a child of the living God by just putting your faith in him. Beautiful words found in John 1. And lastly, as we follow, folks, we can look to the light. We don't need to stumble around in the darkness, finding a switch, finding a way to plug the lamp in, because we could walk around as the light in darkness. Folks, let's remember that today. Be encouraged as you're walking around in the evil places. You are the light, just like God was and Jesus. So thank you for that. We'll talk to you soon, folks.